Welcome back to West Ham Unofficial. I hope you are all well. Episode 25 of a big talk about football. A little bit of a milestone today. I was told for the wedding anniversary, 25 is silver. I think so. The silver episode of a big talk about football. Mike, how are you?
Yeah, good. And yourself?
Yeah, not too bad. Back to school Monday, had a nice 2 weeks off. I hope you guys have enjoyed all the content that's gone out in the last couple of weeks. I've tried my best to get as much out to you as possible. But before we do get started, I'm going to plug it again. If you haven't already, please check out the video that went up on Tuesday night. About DT38, the awareness of testicular cancer, with Tracy and Taylor Tombides and Josie. Fantastic insight into all things like that. So please check that out. And we've got a video coming very, very soon. I'm just going to flash this up here and then flash it again. That's coming very, very soon. Right, 8 comments. Let's say hello. Let's say hello. Good evening, son. Good evening, mum. I hope you're well. Hi, son. Hope you're well. Yes, I'm all right. I'm all right. Nice bonnet. I know Mike's had a cut as well. Happy days.
Had to lose some weight somehow.
Evening. Oh, still fourth. Yes, we're still fourth. We'll get into West Ham stuff later on. Can't wait for breaking news. We'll get to that in just a second. Hola, hope you're well, James. Hope you are well. Hi, Mr. Cox. Loving the trims. Jacob might see. We are 2 minutes and 33 seconds in, and we're all getting praise for it. Great flag, Mike. See, that's what I said, but it's not quite a flag, Mike, is it?
No, confession is it's my beach towel.
There it is. Yeah, I thought it was a flag.
I've made an effort, haven't I?
Oh no, it looks great. It looks great. See all the haircuts. Here we go. Scott hasn't done it yet, but James has done it for us. Hashtag free Ben Rama. We'll get on to all of that madness later on. See, 2 for 1 on haircuts. And hi, James. Right, are you ready for the breaking news, Mike?
Oh, come on, let's have it.
So Dad has just said drum roll. So he's booked the cruise for us to go on in 2022 to a Christmas cruise, I believe, in 2022. So that's the breaking news. Luke's in. Hope you're well. Is this a boy band audition? Smart Barnets, lads. See, we're not talking about football here. We're just talking about each other's haircuts. Hope you're well, Luke. Hope you're well. But quite a lot's happened this week. Mike, in the old world of West Ham, we're still fourth.
We're still fourth, mate. We're still fourth and enjoying it. Let's face it, we just got to keep enjoying it, haven't we? Just got to keep enjoying it.
Yeah, some of the stuff we'll discuss later on. Injuries, Newcastle versus West Ham. We'll have a bit of a discussion about that, do a little preview for that. A couple of players that we've been linked with, injuries, lineups and all of that stuff. So check that out from about 25 to 8. Here he is. Hashtag free Ben Rama. You didn't quite get there in time. But so what else we said? Simon, hope you're well. Hope you are well, Simon. Right, we've got our first guest ready to come on. Are you ready, Mike?
Oh yeah, let's have it, mate.
Let's go. Gary's joined us. Massive night for Arsenal tonight. We will get to that in a minute. But firstly, Gary, how are you?
Not too bad. Yourselves?
All right, you.
Yeah.
All right, Gary.
I just thought I'd bring a bit of colour because that dark claret is a bit, you need some brightness in there.
Oh,
there's brightness here. There's brightness here. Don't you worry. There's brightness here, there, everywhere. But in terms of Arsenal, then lineups have been announced. Seema not playing for Slavia Prague. Seema not starting for Slavia Prague. As well. Thoughts on the Arsenal lineup and the game?
Well, I've read a bit of what the Arsenal fans have been saying, and sort of agree with part of it. Martinelli, he had a fabulous game in the last game. He was full of energy, and not to start in this one. Maybe he's saving him for the weekend. I don't know, but not to start Martinelli or even start with the same team as we played with last game. He sort of thrusted Smith Rowe and Saka in there again, and they're sort of borderline injuries as well. Interesting. It'll be another nail biter for Arsenal. It'll go down to the wire, I'm sure, as usual.
Yeah. It definitely does. I mean, some interesting decisions from Arteta. It says on their Twitter, Granit Xhaka at left back, Lacazette's leading the line, Smith Rowe's back. So the starting lineup is Leno, Chambers, Holding, Mari, Xhaka, Partey, Ceballos, Pepe, Smith Rowe, Saka, and Lacazette. Does that fill you with a huge amount of confidence, or do you think it could have been better? With the likes of Martinelli.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it's going to be emphasis on the left-hand side with Smith Rowe and Saka playing. So we'll see. We need Lacazette to carry on his current form and be full of energy again, like he was the other night.
Yeah.
We'll see. Another nail biter, as I said a minute ago.
Yeah, definitely.
It's a must-win game, though. If we don't win tonight, that's the season over. Really,
I'm going to say it's a big game, really, for you, isn't it, Gary? And the good thing about it, though, is it's not home or away, is it? Really?
No. Both games have been played at the same venue, I think, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that. Yeah.
Both in Spain.
I mean, it's the same again, isn't it? So it shouldn't make any difference for you, really. No.
Let's take some comments and then we'll bring our second guest on. Right, we're talking about our cruise. Very nice ship. What ship is it? Azora. Talk. Still talking about cruises. Big Jake. Hope you're well, Peach. And he's saying hello to
Peach.
You, Mike, as well.
Hey, man, you're right. It's good, lad.
Luke says you've got some crap on your top, Gary. Coming on, Scott says, "Come on, Slavia." Scott says, "Nothing personal, Gary. Just from a West Ham point of view, we can't have Arsenal winning the Europa League." Yeah, I mean the technicalities. If you win that, and if Man City win the Champions League, it all opens up. It all opens up for the 5th and 6th spot. But yeah, we will see.
I think from a West Ham point of view, you could probably do with like Man United winning it. Would that open another space or something?
I don't know.
Because they look like they're odds on to finishing the top 4.
Yeah. Simon says Peach is in the house. He certainly is. Neil T, hello, hope you're well. I'm a Slavia Prague fan tonight. Come on, you Slavia Prague. Hopefully Brentford Clive will be on always.
Fan by any chance?
Brentford Clive isn't on tonight, but will be on very, very soon. Lucas, Arsenal should beat them. If not, they need a serious word with themselves. I mean, Seema, their threats not starting, but we will see. But we're joined by our second guest all the way from sunny Spain. Football with Brownie. Adam, how are you?
Hey guys, how are you doing? And it's not so sunny today, it's pissing down. Sorry, Bobby. Yeah, I know, I'm cold, but I hope everyone's well. And I just want a good game tonight. There's been a lot of negative issues going around Slavia Prague and so on, and I'm just hoping for a good game tonight, to be honest.
Yeah. Who do you think is going to win?
I think Arsenal will go through. And the only reason I'm saying that is because something tells me Slavia Prague may have run out of gas now after beating Napoli and Rangers and Leicester as well. Not Napoli was there, that was Granada, sorry. But Leicester and Rangers, I think they're running out of steam now. But I'm hoping for a good game anyway.
Aren't they top of the league as well?
Yeah, they beat Sparta. They beat Sparta Prague. The city rivals over a weekend.
Their derby, yeah.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough. Don't get me wrong, but I maybe a 2-2, maybe, so Arsenal go through on away goals, maybe. I think the away goal may come into it. I don't know why. But anyway,
if we walk through the game with a 2 or 3-0, I'll be very surprised.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tight one, isn't it?
How are you all anyway?
Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
Good.
Not too bad. Right, let's take some comments then. Azura is lovely, apparently. Neil says, no, I'm not a Spuds fan. See, Brownie is now like royalty. Yeah, Adam, tell us about your fantastic interview. After you've watched this stream, the link to his video is in the chat. Tell us about your interview.
Yeah, basically, it did take a while to set up and kind of completely understand. I had an interview with the Czech ambassador to the UK, who with Sufal and Kuchek. You know, I hope that it doesn't stop at just a Czech ambassador, but you know, with the links of Isla Caton Cancer Charity, the links between the two clubs, West Ham and Slavia Prague, the fans, and also as well, Wales played the Czech Republic recently in the qualifying group, and the Czech ambassador went to Wales, went to commemorate the Czech soldiers who passed and his graves and so on during World War II. And I'm not kidding you. It took a while to set up with through his colleagues and so on. But I'm so proud of how the interview went. It you know it and that he's turned down much larger you know, YouTube channels, not just West Ham, but you know, right across the footballing community. And he accepted my invitation, and I'm honoured, if I'm honest with you. And I'd say I hope that the links don't just stop at that interview, because I think he's happier how it went just as much as I am.
Yeah. So the video is currently on 731 views. Let's get it up to 800 views. Let's see if we can do that. But
cheers, Jake.
in terms
cheers,
of Jake. In terms of Cardiff, then Reading next for you. Thoughts?
Well, regarding if I can just hold on a moment, Jake. Just let you guys know regarding that interview. What interesting for West Ham fans was that they definitely open to having a friendly between West Ham and Slavia every year. You know, and also as well, he was mentioning that West Ham and Slavia Prague are looking into forming a bond with the youth ranks as well. So, you know, that could be interesting for West Ham fans going forward. I do apologise. I thought I'd bring that up, Jake. Regarding Cardiff, we've run out of steam. You know, it just shows that you know, people are on about how relentless the Premier League has been this year. Well, Championship with more clubs involved is really worse.
It's always been tough, isn't it?
Yeah,
it's a big climb, isn't it?
I mean, we've basically got Kiefer Moore up front. We've got no backup. He's also been playing for Wales in the qualifiers as well. You know, and how he hasn't pulled up hamstrings or injuries, but you can tell he's just exhausted, and he's not the only one. I wonder.
Yeah.
Just dawned on me, because we haven't got nothing to play for now. That's it with Cardiff for this season. But I'm wondering, do you guys know? I mean, Cardiff got a few loan players. Hi Wilson from Liverpool, you know, to name a few. But I'm wondering, is it possible now Cardiff could just you know, end the loan periods early, so they'd save on wages, or do loan periods, are there set dates? You know, if the end of a season is, for example, 16th of May or whatever, is the loan period until the 16th of May? I'm just wondering.
I'm not sure. Some of these deals, like, they can have the player back, don't they? That's happened in the past, you know.
Did they have to pay some kind of fee?
If they wanted it back, you know, but I don't know. You know, all depends what deal's gone on between the two clubs, I reckon, mate.
Yeah. I mean, you know, the wages Harry Wilson is on, just him alone at Cardiff would save the club a fortune if we could settle, you know, end the loan period early, you know. So, anyway, That's enough of my groans about my team not playing too well. I mean, West Ham must be, you guys must be over the moon at the moment.
Oh, yeah. We're enjoying it, mate.
We're on fire. We're on fire. Where's that comment? Luke says, Brownie does look like he's in a prison yard.
I know. It's normal over here, to be honest. Bars, but yeah, no worries. It's cold.
Now, Gareth, if we come to you, then you mentioned, if you go out of the Europa League tonight, pretty much your season's pretty much done in terms of Arsenal. Do you think there will be more fans, and will you be more inclined to go Arteta out if you go out tonight and you say you went 10?
not necessarily. Even if the fans did, I don't think he will anyway, because I don't think that's how Arsenal roll. They're not like a Chelsea. They don't. If it's not going right, they'll ditch it and buy and get another manager. Well, for a start, they haven't got the money to do that. If we're having to sell players to buy players, they're not going to ditch a manager before his contracts run out to get another manager in. I just don't think that's the way they're going to do it. It's a difficult one because he has bought a few players, but a lot of the players are what was handed to him. It's a case, it's a big business now. You have to spend a hell of a lot of money to keep up with the top. And we're not spend if we're spending 60 million on a player, that ain't nowhere near what City are spending and Man United are spending.
Yeah,
there's not the money around there, mate. To be totally honest, is there? The money's just not there. That's the trouble, and especially with the pandemic and everything.
Which is very puzzling. With Arsenal, seeing as they're one of the most clubs in the Premier League that make money.
Yeah. Well, that's
I don't know where it's gone.
That's just the way football is going at the moment. I mean, you check out the final, the last four in the Champions League. You got one tie, which is an oil-rich state against another oil-rich state. Mm-hmm. And then you got the other tie is a Russian oligarch, a club owned by a Russian oligarch against a club who is trying to get funding from Saudi Arabia. That's basically, that's the final four for you.
I know we have got a high wage bill, and that does, if you're not performing, is there no clause in players' wages that if you're on 150 million, 150,000 a week, and you're not performing, and you haven't got your club to where they need to be, they did wage cut or anything?
I don't think so.
No. I don't think any agent would agree to that.
No. It would be nice,
but Mike, thank you very much for coming on. I'll see you later. Thank you very much.
See you later, Mike.
Cheers. Right, a couple of people waiting in the chat. We will bring them on. Why not? Steve, who's a Chelsea fan, and Richard, as you can see, who is a Liverpool fan. Good evening, guys.
Hello. How are you guys? All right?
Hi, guys. How are you doing?
Good, we'll take some comments first. Gary comes in every week and says, "Evening. Still no one above us yet. This is just getting embarrassing." I mean, it really is. I mean, if we wouldn't have won, Chelsea would have been above us. But we just did it, and all of these people, they're still not above us in the league. As Gary puts it, it's just getting embarrassing. But we'll talk about clubs that aren't quite on West Ham's level this season. We'll start with Chelsea. Steve. You got the FA Cup.
Just be careful, Jake, because we have very, very long memories.
Yeah. So FA Cup semi-final at the weekend against City. Do you think the priority will be on that or the Premier League? Do you think for the run-in?
It's interesting because if I know from what Abramovich has done in the past, silverware is important. So he's got to win something in his first year. You could say there's a Champions League on the horizon, but we seem to be getting in the way of big clubs seem to be getting in the way of us. I think the FA Cup is almost going to be the easiest way to silverware.
Yeah.
It gives you European football next year still. So I think the FA Cup will be important. Although, having said that, Tuchel's been, he's played Kepa in the cup games, and he has kept the two different teams, if you know what I mean. So there is a cup team going on, and there's another team going on. So I think he would like to win the FA Cup, and it's certainly the easiest way through, I think, especially with our opponents in the Champions League standing in our way.
Yeah.
But having said that, the way we played over the last 2 games in the Champions League, there ain't many teams going to give us too much of a hard game, because I wasn't that impressed with Real Madrid, especially against Liverpool the other night. I thought they were dull, boring, all those sort of things. And yeah,
but they already had the 3-0, 3-1 deficit. The thing about Real Madrid, and it has been highlighted over here today, you take Benzema out of that attack, and it's nothing there.
Yeah.
No. What happens with going for the jugular? I mean, there was a time in Europe when if you were 3-1 up in the first leg, you wanted to slaughter the opposition in the second leg as well, just to prove your dominance. Now it seems to be, we're 3-1 up, we don't turn up.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's trying to hit you on the break, don't they? No?
Yeah. Richard, if I come to you then, in terms of Liverpool, you did play Real Madrid, went out last night. It just seems to be another deficit, another backfall in your season this season.
Yeah, just not scoring, are we? We had lots of chances. The energy levels were up last night, which makes you wonder why it hasn't been like that for the last few games or since Christmas. Whether or not that is because of Klopp's style and the players are just completely jaded. Obviously, we've had our injuries, but no, it's all about catching you guys. I think Leicester can be caught because they've got some tough games, haven't they, Leicester?
Yeah,
They've got Chelsea, Spurs. They play United as well, I think, don't they?
I think they do, yeah.
Yeah, and they've had a few injuries as well, haven't they, Leicester? So I think they could be catchable, Leicester.
Yeah, I think they're going to drop out. I think they're going to drop out. I think it's going to be another taxi for Brendan Rodgers after this season. I tell you, that'll be 2 seasons on a bounce in which they've fallen away just before the end.
Yeah. So. I think that'll be what'll happen again. I think that now opens up because we beat Leicester at the last weekend. I feel that opens up that third position as well. So there's 2. I'd say there's 2. Steve, Richard, would you agree? There's 2 spaces there now to for, would you say, out of Liverpool, Chelsea, West Ham? I mean Tottenham are a push. I don't think Tottenham are in it to get into that 3rd and 4th spot. Would you agree? Steve, to you first.
Yeah, I think the 3rd spot is achievable. The thing is that it's achievable by a team dropping down, and if Leicester, like you say, have a poor run in, which they could well do, and lose a few games, I think the third place is definitely open. The thing is that West Ham at the moment are in the driving seat, so you should be saying really that West Ham are going for 3rd, not for 4th, and then it's the rest of us fighting for 4th, because you've got the impetus of a single perspective. All you need to do is play in the Premier League. That's all I aim for. Most of the other teams around you have got other things on their mind: FA Cups, European Cups.
We've got just that. Yeah.
You've just got to turn up every week and beat who's in front of you. So you're actually in the driving seat for third place, really.
I think we are because we play one big side left, and that's you. And then we seem to play. I think we've got Newcastle. We've got Newcastle at the weekend. We've got Newcastle, Burnley, Brighton. We always slip up against Brighton, but it's definitely
nothing like a few banana skins.
I know, definitely. But Gary, just before I let you go, you've got Fulham in the Premier League next. Thoughts on that?
We always do. We seem to do well against Fulham, but now I've said that, we seem to do well against Fulham. I can't see anything but a win there, but you never know. It's been a funny old season.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it definitely has. Anything can happen, that's for sure. But Gary, thank you very much for coming on.
No problem.
Thank
See
you.
you guys.
Take care.
Cheers, Gary.
Take care,
Cheers.
guys.
Right, let's take some comments. 17 comments. Let's scroll up. We'll get them questions in a moment. But to you, Adam, Scott says football with Bryony. I've been really impressed with Kiefer Moore this season.
Yeah. I mean, he would have been a Ballon d'Or winner, I tell you, if he continued. The success he was having. It's just unfortunate, but it's just too many games. We should have had backup to him, but the backup is League Two at best at the moment. So he's had to play every single game, and it's Wednesdays, Saturdays. We're like, constant in the Championship. So if I was Mick McCarthy, many other fans are saying it now, we know our playoff hopes are dead. I would just rest all the players and chuck the kids in for the last remaining games. Let's see if they can sink or swim. It's the acceptance is there by the fans now. There's no pressure. We're not in a promotion race. We're not in a relegation scrap. Chuck the kids in, see if they can sink or swim. Let's see if any of them can put their name into the squad ready for next season.
Well, yeah, but it is a time, because you said my next question to you was, is your playoff hope still alive? And they're not. So you're just saying, just chuck the kids out,
That's why
nothing to lose.
That's why I mentioned early on regarding loan signings, because if it was up to me, and I would cut all the loan signings early, as long as there's no fines or anything by the parent clubs. Cut them off early, save on the wages there, send them back to the parent clubs, and rest all the players who really, really need a rest. They're completely out of gas. Chuck the kids in, last few games. Let's just see if they can sink or swim. See if the kids can actually nail down a proper squad place for next season.
Yeah, definitely a good opportunity. Change the breaking news. Emails just come in. They forgot about me. Oh well. On the cruise, they forgot about me. Well, oh well. Good player is Richard's really about Kiefer Moore there. Let's have a look. Yeah.
I mean,
Jake, we pretty much beat everyone now.
The problem about Moore, because I think he could do a job for a lower Premier League club, but his age is really against him. More apparently, Premier League clubs now are looking at players under the age of like 28, let's just say 27, because they're looking at the longevity, and they also looking at a sell-on kind of fee if they can get rid. But Kiefer Moore's in 28 now, I think. So he's in the opposite. Otherwise, I think he could do a job for like Fulham or someone like that very, very easily.
Yeah, completely. Question to you, Steve. Who will win the Champions League final?
What a good question. I kind of hope Man City are in it, definitely, because that's always good for. I mean, I'll always applaud the British clubs, because I want the British clubs to do well, because if they do well, we do well next season with points and places and everything else. As a fan, I dearly love it to be Man City, Chelsea. As a realist, we're going to do well to beat Real Madrid. If we beat Real Madrid, we might just have our tails up enough to give whoever we meet in the final a bit of a good game as well. So. But it's four good teams left in the semi-finals. It's unusual that there are four teams that actually could all win it. Usually, there's one rogue in there that is But all four teams this year could win it. Who's going to be in the final? My heart says Chelsea, Man City. My head says Real Madrid, Man City.
Just for a record, Jake, Cardiff City's never been in the final four of the Champions League. So, just, you're on about one rogue in there. It's normally Cardiff City. So,
so people are saying about Richard. I'll come to you. People are saying about the about our hope to get in that top 4. Scott says, agree, Steve. However, we have several key players who are injured. And we're going to discuss that in a minute in terms of West Ham, because we feel we've got our spine of our team are out. Hopefully, O'Connor's going to be back for Newcastle on the weekend. But we have got injuries out there, and Kent says it as well. I don't think we are in the driving seat for 3rd or 4th because of injuries and lack of squad depth. Do you feel, in terms of Liverpool, that you've got a real good push on you now to try and get that 4th spot?
Yeah, I mean, that's all we've got, isn't it? We're not in anything else, so that's all we're going to focus on. Just need to start scoring again. The free flowing football. Like last night, if Salah had scored in the first couple of minutes, it could have turned the tie, and we created the chances, but we just couldn't quite finish it. So if we get our shooting boots back on, and if Mane can turn up for the last seven games, then I think we'd make the top 4. But it's it's against the weaker teams, isn't it? Our running, where this season we haven't really played so well against. But it'll be tough. But we'll see.
I think Liverpool are a prime example of how the 12th man actually can take you to victories.
Definitely.
I don't know about you guys. Maybe it's because I support Cardiff City, but as a neutral fan watching some of these Premier League games, I get bored after the first 15 minutes. I really do, because there's no. I ran a poll the other day. What's putting you off football at the moment more, VAR or not having fans in the ground? And to be honest, I know it was small poll, but it was literally 50-50.
Yeah. Well, there's a stat, isn't there, to say that at the moment in the Premier League, there's more away wins than there are home wins.
That's not just the Premier League. I think that was also the Bundesliga as well.
Yeah.
And La Liga as well, I think.
Yeah, so it just goes to show, doesn't it, how much a crowd can influence and dictate. And to be honest, that might help people like Man City in the Champions League, because they've always, haven't they? Because they haven't got the heart and soul, the fans, have they, of being in the Champions League? They don't like to sing when the anthem's on, do they? And whenever there's always a bit of tension with it. Whereas without the fans there, Pep's got his team just expressing them, haven't they? Just expressing themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah, guys, Steve, Adam, and Richard, thank you very much for coming on.
Nope, thanks for the invite.
Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Thank you. I'll be back in just a minute. There's a panel of West Ham fans waiting in the back to talk about a Champions League club. I'll be back in a minute. Check out Canning Town Lane using the link in the description, and I'll be back. Canning Town Len is your best place to buy custom portraits that you can buy on the internet. Canning Town Len does animated portraits like this one he did for me up here. They're absolutely fantastic, and I couldn't recommend them enough. So just some ones that he did for me. I've got this one here outside the London Stadium. I mean, it looks just like me, really. The best possible kind of animated portrait, kind of animated cartoon kind of picture I could hope for, really. They're absolutely amazing, and they are so realistic, look exactly like me, and they are very good to buy. So make sure you do click the link in the description down below to buy a portrait from Canning Town Len. I'd highly recommend them. Click the link in the description down below. He does animated portraits, non-West Ham related, West Ham related, lots of different backgrounds, any shirt, any background. You can basically customize it to your absolute kind of needs and what you exactly want. So click the link in the description down below to check out Canning Town Len. Come on, Irons. Right then, let's get straight on in with it. I'm joined by James and Tom, Athos32. How are we?
Not bad. Me and James been on the same show. Seems to be a bit of a regular occurrence at the minute. I think I froze. Anyway, I'm back. James, you were doing some moves whilst that Canning Town Len video was going on. You were giving it the jailings. You were getting ready.
Yeah, I know, mate. I know. We're flying like a kite at the minute, mate, and we're flying well. And it's a big game Saturday. It really is. Another one.
Yeah. Yeah, Mike's here as well. Let's get straight on into it.
Hey, then, boys, you right?
Not bad.
Yeah, not too bad. Right. So we're gonna do the preview tonight on this show. Because I can't do it tomorrow night because I've got cricket training. So we're gonna do it today on here. And then we will get straight on with it. So preview Newcastle. Firstly, Tom. It's a big game as all of them are now.
Yeah, they're all, as people have sort of referred to it as sort of cup final games, the last few games of the season. And I think obviously this sort of tests our credentials, really. I've sort of taken a look at the last 7 fixtures, and I would probably, if our aspirations are to, obviously get into European football, whether it be through the, Europa League or the Champions League or whatever, this is a must-win game, realistically, for us. Our must-win games have to come against the likes of Newcastle, West Brom, Burnley, and try to take, a point from Everton, Chelsea. But in the grand scheme of things, the last sort of like 4 or 5 years, our run-ins technically usually are absolutely disgusting. It's like fighting against relegation, and we've got to play some of the top 6 constantly. But now, we've actually got a chance to show how much we have improved, especially in these must-win games. I remember a few seasons ago at Upton Park, when we had to beat Swansea and we ended up getting battered at home that year that we were aiming for Champions League football. So I'm hoping that the same thing doesn't happen today. But thankfully, I think for us, the fact that we were able to go out last weekend against a top 4 side in Leicester and put 3 past them, we're missing Rice, Antonio and others. Defensively, fair enough, there are some, areas that we could obviously improve on, but I think Ogbonna being back will help that. But the fact that we can still score goals without some of our key players is a good sign for us. So Newcastle leak goals. I'm worried probably more so than anybody about Callum Wilson being back, but I think, it's a must-win game for us.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, James, we never do fantastically well up at St James's Park. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. But are you confident for the game?
We don't win at Newcastle, mate. That's the problem. And we never do. And it's just one of them places where we just never go there and never get anything. Like, we've been hammered there a few times.
I've been there 4 times and we've lost every time.
Yeah. And it's just one of them. It's a great night out. If you want to go up there for a good weekend and get on the drink and have a good party, yeah, it's good. But watching West Ham up there is not. And if I'm honest, Step Maximum coming back and Callum Wilson, it's just ironic, isn't it? We've just they've been injured all this time and then they just turn up right before our game. So, but I don't know. It all depends how we go, because another thing I will say is it all depends if we score first. If we score first, then I think we win this game quite comfortably. But we've got to score first, and the last 3 games we've scored first, and we've ended up winning 2 and drawing 1. And the one we drew, we should have won. So it's going to be interesting, but I'm not as confident on this one, mate. If I'm honest, Newcastle are fighting for their lives, and they've started to pick up form recently and all. And I know people say we should go up there and roll these quite comfortably, but when we all know as West Ham fans, when you're fighting for something, they step up massively. But we've been in that situation before, and teams sort of step up to another level. So I don't know. On this one, it's tricky for me.
Yeah. Simon does say, James, you're out of Primark. I mean, you were forced for mine in Primark last night, but you've made your way back to your normal setup.
Mate, I must be the only person on the YouTube scene who can do a live from Primark Lakeside. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Primark, 8:30 at night in Primark. It looked like it was packed with West Ham mask on. You were.
I had West Ham bags, West Ham mask, and I was all looking at me thinking,
I've been in there, mate. It's an absolute nightmare. It's my idea of a nightmare. I mean, I'm going to go that one in Westfield now and again. Oh, my God. My daughter lives in there, basically. But, oh, God, I hate the place. But there you go. This game, mate, I'm a little bit worried about it. Same as James. They've got all their players coming back. I've seen Sam Maximum rip us to pieces in the past. Remember that game when they went 3-0 up? And he could have scored about 6 in the first half, but he took us to pieces, Okay, we're different now. That was a Pellegrini side. We're a lot stronger at back. We're more organised. But Wilson just always seems to get one against us, doesn't he? You know, I don't know. He's just
Yeah.
he's just one of those players, isn't he? You know, he always seems
Yeah.
to turn up against us.
He
It does
does.
worry me.
I do think them not having any fans in will be a massive difference for us, though.
That
I
could
think
make a difference.
more so maybe at a ground that we've recently struggled at over the last sort of decade. I think not having those fans in will make a massive difference to us.
Yeah. But to be fair, honestly, Tom, we must have the squad, going around. We must have so much confidence. Who would have thought, a year ago we had to beat Leicester to get into the Champions League position without our spine, without the spine of our team in there, without Rice, without Ogbonna, without Antonio. Just shows how far we've come. But I just feel it's typical Callum Wilson, as you said, always scores against us. But it's a typical West Ham thing. It's a typical West Ham thing to fear a Newcastle game more than a big game against Leicester, who were around us.
Do you know it's really weird though? I've said this to my friends or Charlie or Rebecca or family and stuff like that. Every single weekend at the minute, I'm going into games and I'm like, we should be getting turned over here, or we're going to struggle. We're not going to score around this X amount of goals. We're not going to do this. We're going to concede. And every single weekend, we just seem to be proving ourselves, the squad, fans, everybody wrong. I mean, I've not seen a West Ham side probably in my lifetime, 25 years, that is as well drilled, as well coached, as well just everything. There's not one person that's bigger than the team. There's no reliance on if one player's out, oh crap, we're not going to go and do something, or we're not going to score them out. Like, who would have thought? Like, I mean, several people have said, I don't know if it was James again, we've been on quite a few live streams the last couple of weeks with each other, but if Ogbonna and Rice go down at the start of the season and Antonio, you think, oh God, relegation all over it. Now there's no fear, there's nothing. And it's credit to David Moyes and what he's done to this squad and what he's instilled in them to still go out and play every single week. And I think obviously, the signing of Jesse Lingard has completely changed that mentality into one of winning. And I think that's what we've lacked at times, having that winning mentality. And the last few weeks, like I said, every time I'm thinking Leicester, there's no way we're scoring. We're probably going to end up losing this game. Wolves, we never do well there. We end up putting 3 past them. Arsenal, fair enough, it was 3-3, but we put 3 past them. And again, the same thing as the weekend. I don't like it. I'm used to going into weekends and going, oh, we're going to quite easily lose this. Or, oh, you know what? We'll go to West Ham for a few drinks and for the fun and see your mates and everything. Not now. I'm comfortable at the fact that I'm predicting us to win every single weekend at the minute, and it's strange. So I am a little bit nervous, like you said, against especially going up to Newcastle. But I think no fans in, the fact that there's been more away wins in the Premier League this year than elsewhere, the form that we're in, the goals that we're constantly scoring. I just think I'm in a position where, even though I think that Newcastle could score maybe 1 or 2 goals, I could quite easily see us scoring 3 or 4. It really depends, because every single week at the minute, consistently, we are turning up. Maybe not defensively, especially in second halves when we let goals in, but attacking wise, some of the best attacking football I've seen as a squad. Fair enough, we take Payet out of the equation because it was kind of singular what he was doing and bringing everybody else into it. Some of the football that we are playing is absolutely liquid, and it is so nice to see the proper West Ham way, if you will, quick, sharp attacking football. And I'm backing us most weekends, and like I said, I really don't like it. I shouldn't feel like this. I really shouldn't.
Weird feeling, isn't it, mate?
Yeah. It's really strange.
Yeah. Are you the build-up show before the Wolves game? And I've still got the things wrote down that I discussed in that. So we're going to start. Now it's a bit more Stonewall now that Ogbonna's going to be fit, James, to start, which is a massive boost for us. What are you thinking for the back 4, back 5, back 3? What are we going to go for? Who's going to dip out? What's going to happen? Because we're going to talk about the importance of Creswell being in there and him not going to be in there in the next couple of weeks later on. But if you were Moyes, what are you doing with the back line?
I wouldn't risk a Bonner, mate. If it was me personally, I'd wait till the Chelsea game. I think the Chelsea game's a bigger game, really. If it was me, I would put Ben Johnson on the right wing back position, Kufau as your third centre half, Dawson, Diop, and Masuaku. That's the way I would go. You got width both sides. Kufau knows how to defend. People have this sort of argument saying now he's a right back, he like his position and all that. You don't go and play Champions League football and play for your country if you're not any good. He knows how to defend, and let's be honest, people will criticise Diop and say Diop can't defend, and so Kufau can defend. Do you know what I mean? So that's the way I would go around it. I wouldn't risk a Bonner against Newcastle, up against St Maximan and Almiron and Wilson. I'd rather wait and give him time to sort of get some fitness, so he's fully fit, instead of rushing him back and just in case he does anything, because we can't afford to lose anyone now. Like, we've lost every game over the last couple of games. We've started to lose players, like, game by game, basically. And I want us to go up there and just get an ugly win. I don't care how we do it. Like, just get a win. Like, I don't want us to go up there and just go blasting teams, scoring 3, and then we're going to concede 2, because it's just like, it's no good. Like, we need to shut up shop. We need to get a couple of goals and then shut up shop and go, you know what, that's it. Shut it down and in-game management, and then move on to the next, like the top teams do, basically.
Yeah. Mike, would you risk Ogbonna?
I don't know. It is a sticky one, really. I want to see him back, but I was shocked at Arthur come straight back in, without playing for so long. And I think he only had a few little reserve games, So I don't know. Moyes would probably put him in, but yeah, I don't know. I think we're going to miss Creswell. His delivery, I mean, it's been fantastic. He's been so much better as one of a back 3 than he is a left back in a back 4. And his delivery, and he comes out of defence with the ball. And, it's unbelievable, really. Some of the balls that he's played, it's gone unmissed by a lot of people. And we're going to miss that delivery going from back to front. I know Diop played a lovely ball last week, which, got us a goal, put us in. He had a much better game, which I was glad about, because he was looking a bit shaky in my mind. So I don't know what he's going to do. I really don't. It wouldn't hurt to leave him until the Chelsea game, but if he's fit, he's got to play someone. He's got to start someone. Maybe, he'd bring him on for 20 minutes or so, but all depending on game situation. But yeah, I don't know. I'm glad he's coming back. We have missed him. There was no doubt about that. I think we've almost got away with it a little bit with Dawson and Diop together. Didn't look that well organised at times. But, hey, we've got away with it. Great. Let's keep going. Lingard's the main man in my mind. He's the one that we've really got to look after. I know he does tire a little bit at getting about 70 minutes, and he does go off the boil a little bit, but that's to be expected. But he's the main man, and he could do it for us up there as long as we're tight and we keep tight at the back.
Tom, would you risk Ogbonna, because he is really crucial?
He is, but I'm sort of in the same mind as James. I'd almost save him or try to save him for Chelsea. Obviously, Balbuena can come back in. I think I disagree with James a little bit on that point. I think Balbuena can come back in. I know we lack leadership sometimes, but I almost feel like for Diop being out of the team for such a long time, I think he's come back and he's cemented that place again, and he's looked like he did, that first few months that we had him when, Jose Mourinho called him a monster. So I wouldn't change too much around. I'd keep Balbuena, Dawson and Diop, and then Soufal and Masuaku and stick with the back 5. I almost feel like it is defensively, that's a good enough back line for me. I think against the likes of Newcastle, I think that is a good enough back line. If it was against Leicester from the get-go and Ogbonna was coming back fit, or against Chelsea, I'd say we need to put Ogbonna back in straight away. But I don't think that Balbuena is as bad as what he's made out to be at times. I don't know. I wouldn't try to change it too much, in my opinion. I think Soufal over on the right hand side, potentially dealing with some Maximin or attacks down, the flanks from Murphy or Wilson or whatever. I think there's enough there for us with Balbuena as the third centre back, and I think it all just basically comes down to how quickly we get out the gates. I think that's probably been our biggest threat really the last few weeks, obviously, as well, is how quickly can we sort of get 1 or 2 goals up and then defend. And I don't see Newcastle posing the same problems as Arsenal, Leicester and Wolves do, especially if we go 2 to 3 goals up, especially knowing how their confidence has been in recent weeks. So I wouldn't risk Ogbonna, but I'd just stick with Balbuena. I wouldn't shift too much around.
Yeah, let's take some comments. Let's see what you guys are saying. Guys says we own Newcastle a thrashing. I like this. No, says if we go 4-0 up, we may be okay. I mean, Clips put it perfectly in his video for the Leicester game. 3-0 was the most perilous scoreline in football. You know, we need more than 3. Gary says they won't control our attackers and we'll whip their butt 7-2. Scott says, agree, I can see us struggling up there on Saturday, unfortunately. Luke says, need to score first, but Newcastle are poor. Yeah, Q Shelby being Zidane. Scott says Shelby will produce his second masterclass of the season, as always. Lingard brought winning mentality. He definitely has. Gary says Deck will be telling the boys to win it for him. Of course he will. So Scott's saying he'll go for a 4-2-3-1 formation. I mean, we'd love that, wouldn't we? But we will see what Mr. Moyes does. Luke says, I don't agree with moving Soufal. He has been the best right back in the league. He locks down that
but you
wing.
can't. Sorry, Jake, but you can't go and put Balbuena in there. He's got no communication skills whatsoever. He's got no communication. He's been in there with Diop, and they've been absolutely rolled. Right, and the best
out of
game
4 at the back, though, is what I would say. Out of 4 at the back. If it's 5 at the back, I genuinely think it's a bit different.
At Tottenham at the start of the season, we played a 5-4-1. And within 15 minutes, was 3-0 down, and Balbuena was at fault because he was just out of position and lack of pace. Like Cathal knows how to defend. He's a proper defender. He knows how to defend, and he can speak English. So he can communicate with Dawson. He can communicate with Diop. So I don't this thing where we're trying to get Balbuena in there. We're going to have a slow player in there against Saint Maximin. No, I won't recommend it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Lee says we are winning. I look at every game we play is for a win. Get behind our lads. Come on, your ones. We are massive. Been saying it from the get-go. London is claret and blue. I like it, Lee. Kent says I'd take the risk on Oggy. Need his leadership skills. Missed him big time. I agree. Kent Peaches smiling as he always is. Gary says 4 at the back against the lower teams, and I say that with a smile on my face. Yeah. Gary says I would sooner a youth player than Balbuena. Oh, I'll put this to you then, Mike. I'll put it to you. Would you rather see someone like Frederic Alves over Balbuena?
Not really. That's a bit much to chuck him in the deep end in a game like that, because it is a big game. It's another one of these 7 cup finals we've got left. I personally would just keep Soufal right back, Mazuaku left wing back, and I would play the 3 that was who was it? It was Diop, Dawson, and if Bonner don't come in there, I play Bonner. I would, but yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult. I mean, yeah, it's a tough one. It really is. I think, you know, Moyes is racking his brains on this one a little bit. I think he's left him in a bit of a quandary. I think he's probably going to throw Ogbonna back in. I can see him putting him in and starting him. I can see it.
Yeah. Luke says, depends how fit Oggy is, doesn't it? Not worth the risk at 75%. Of course he had to come in. Of course he had to come and just peck his beak a little bit. Totally agree with Tom. Of course you do.
That's a shock. He usually disagrees with me.
I wonder if he's still here. I wonder if he's still here to back any of that up. Balbuena got 1 foot out of the door. I think he could do. Tom
true.
says,
that's very true. That is, mate. He's halfway out the door. Like, he doesn't really want to be here. And do you really want to be putting a player in who, like, let's be honest, we're chasing Champions League, and he's halfway to Italy. Do you know what I mean? So. Right, what would you? Let me put that to you, lads. Right now, what would you do if a player who doesn't fancy the club anymore and wants to leave in the summer? Would you really want to put him in?
Not really, but I don't see the problem in using a player, using his experience in a game like this, other than bringing a young lad in who's probably going to be like a rabbit in the headlights. That's the only thing that worries me. You know, Yeah, I can see James. I can see your point, James, about probably moving Sufel over there, other than doing that. And then you got
But
Johnson.
The way I look,
All
the way I
back.
look at this is you've got three right backs at the club. You've got Fredericks, Ben Johnson, and Sefal. So let's be honest, you wouldn't have Ben Johnson at centre half, and you wouldn't have Fredericks at centre half.
No.
So the obvious one would be Kafal. And I think if Fredericks plays, he could deal with St. Maximin with the pace and do like a job on him, like he did against Grealish, basically, against
that
Villa.
is a shame. Actually, I forgot about Fredericks, to be totally honest. Yeah,
Tom,
totally forgot about.
Water is
Tom,
wet,
I
and me and James disagree on the
Yeah.
formations and players. No, it's all fun. I mean, listen, we've all got our own sort of different opinions, and that's all football is. It's a game of opinions.
It's
And
opinions, isn't it? Yeah.
But for me, I understand what James is trying to say 100%. I get the defensive capabilities. I know somebody put it in the live chat earlier on, and they said, Sufal for me is one of the top 3 right backs in the league this year, and the only risk I have, the only counter argument I would have to say, and we'll chuck Fredericks in at right wing back. The only reason I thought that Fredericks did so well over on that right, almost doubling up, was because he had Sufal for company to defend. I don't think Ryan Fredericks is a very good defender, and I think that he was much better in that game because every time that Fredericks went to get forward or come back, Sufal was always there to try to help double team. Yeah. So for me, I wouldn't waste. I think Sufal is good enough to deal with St. Maximin if he was down that side. St. Maximin also comes quite central as well, so it doesn't really matter to me. I wouldn't shift him. I just think he's been such a key part of being at that right back position and how he defends. And I'm fully behind. You can easily slide him over, and he could probably do a great job at centre half as well. But knowing how he's played all season at right back, I just wouldn't do it. And I'm trying to think like David Moyes would do. And the fact that the other day when he went to the bench, instead of sliding Sufal over and putting Ryan Fredericks at right back, he just went straight for Boleyn and get another centre half in. So, like I said, unless Ogbonna is fit and he wants to risk it, which he could because he did the same thing with Masuaku, he put him straight back into the team. In my mind, that's what David Moyes would want to do because of how effective that Sufal has been over at right back, and I don't think he would want to take that away from him almost, if that makes sense. Because even attacking wise, he can't. He's probably one of the worst finishers I've seen at the club. Sufal. He's had a couple of like really good one-on-one chances. He doesn't finish well, but he does get into some great attacking positions down that right-hand side. That's not to say that Fredericks doesn't as well, but just his whole game running up and down that flank with the engine that he has, I just don't think that Moyes would want to risk it, in my personal opinion.
But wouldn't you fear, Tom, that if Maximan's one-on-one with Kafal, he will get done for pace? Because
because I think he has the. Sorry, go on.
For how good Kafal is defending, he isn't really good when he's up against pace, and it proved it in the Arsenal game. When he was up against pace, he wasn't very good. And I love Kafal, and I'm Kafal's biggest fan, mate. I love that man to bits, but when he's up against pace, he gets exposed.
Yeah, he does, and that obviously is a little bit of a worry. But at the same time, I think when he has played against pace this season, there are times where defensively, what necessarily Ryan Fredericks wouldn't have, which usually is he'll get beat on the inside or the outside or on an overlapping run, and then he'll just chase that person back and try to defend that way. But with Sufal, I think sometimes there's been, we always like laud Declan Rice because he always makes a challenge. As I've been saying, he's like Bobby Moore-esque, I guess you could say, or knowing as what's going to unfold and the way that he tackles. And I think Sufal sometimes has that as well. That no nonsense, like you're not going to run past me, so I'm either going to take the yellow card or he puts in a well-timed challenge. And like I said, I 100% get what you're trying to say, and I don't necessarily think it's a bad idea. I'm trying to I'm thinking, what is David Moyes? It's similar to what we said for the Wolves game. Me and you both wanted to see 4-2-3-1. I would love to be able to see more attacking football with Saïd Benrahma starting every week. But what I said when we were on American Hammers was, in my mind, David Moyes is going to try to match up. None of us saw Wolves playing 4 at the back, but he was going to try to match up and go 5 at the back and put Masuaku back in and Fornals. Yeah. And I'm just trying to think in David Moyes' mind, what is he going to opt for? And that, for me personally, would be
Me and Tom sat there and said, right, they're going to match up the same, and they come out with a 4 at the back. I was like, yeah.
I mean, it may shock us all. Souček will slide in at centre half, and everybody will be wrong. But no, like I said, I don't think he would be a bad person to have at centre back. Sufal. In my mind, David Moyes would want him more so at right back than he would do necessarily playing Ryan Fredericks. I think he trusts Sufal in that position more than he does Ryan Fredericks. Is my point.
Defensively, we're not fast anyway, are we? We've got a lot of slow players back there, really. But Bobby Moore wasn't the quickest. But it's just reading the game right and giving yourself two yards so that they can't get into that space. I mean, defending's all about that, really, but it's easy sat on the sofa saying that. But joking aside, I think that's what we've been doing this year. We've been defending like that, especially Dawson. You know, he never got a lack of pace, but he's got his body positions right, and he's defensively in a good position. You know, 98% of the time.
He looks a bit more like the Craig Dawson I expected for us the last couple of weeks. Yeah. I'm not going to lie. He's retreated back to Craig Dawson of old, I think, the last couple of weeks.
Let's take some predictions and then we will move on. So, Mike, I'll come to you first. Just quick fire prediction and let's go. There's no doubt someone will take my prediction. No doubt.
Your prediction. Right. Mine is a 2-2 draw.
James?
I'm gonna say, my head's saying I'm gonna believe in the team again, like I did last week, and say that we're gonna win 2-0. But it wouldn't surprise me if it was a draw up there.
Tom?
Every time I say we're going to lose, we win, and I'm just the last few weeks I'm just so confident. I'm 3-1. I see us scoring another 3 goals. Jesse Lingard potentially 1 or 2. 3-1 for me.
Right, that's it. I'm just doing my prediction before anybody else. Of course, somebody had to take it. And Tom, you were the victim this week. Yes, I'm going 3-1 as well. I'm not changing it now. Scrap it. 3-1. But I wasn't involved in this, but he had to come in and say something, didn't he?
Hiya! Tom, don't look like that.
Tom,
I was like backing you up. I've got a mate who's actually a Newcastle fan. Stood here. He don't want to be on. He don't want to be on. He looks at the screen, looks at Mike. He's like, "Is that David Moyes?"
Is that a compliment or?
I should have kept my hair like that, mate, shouldn't I?
He also said, "Oh, I like that kid about you." So,
righto. Okay.
You're running away. Don't run away. But yeah, I agree with what Tom said earlier on as well. I'm not a fan of moving players out of position. I see the strengths, but I think that consistency is so crucial. And as consistent as we can keep it, I think that's best. Obviously, I just seen that. Yeah. Well, I'm glad City won because I do want them to win the Champions League. That helps us a little bit.
Actually, yeah, it does, doesn't it?
Yeah. See,
don't get that City shirt again, or you'll get some more.
Not the fact that you've got a City shirt in your house and you did wear it. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it wasn't my smartest. It wasn't my smartest move. Okay. So
no, it wasn't.
But I trust Moisey over here to make some good choices. I think that's what I'm going to call you from now on, Mike. You're going to be Moisey now.
How old is David Moyes anyway?
I do think we're going to win. I think 4-1. Or I was going to say 4-0. My Newcastle fan friend, he thinks it's going to be 2-1 to Newcastle.
Rubbish.
Look, I think that every preview show, people are going to start to get a bit bored because we're all in the same boat. Every single game is so big for all of us. And we're also, as West Ham fans, so used to West Ham bottling it when it comes down to it. So all of us, it comes down to every single game. We're all going to be nervous. In the back of our mind, every single person that's a West Ham fan watching this stream, thinking about the Newcastle game is like, oh, I can see us losing. There's a definite chance that we're going to lose. But, that's the life of a West Ham fan, right?
Here we go. It started. See, no, I've got this stupid hat on just for one reason because Andy said Mike and Jake didn't get the memo, and I don't know.
Moisey, where's your hat?
I like that hat, Jake.
No,
Moisey, I've got one. I've got another one here.
The only reason I'm doing it is because my lockdown trim is getting very bad.
City. There's no Man City there.
That suits you, Jake. That backwards hat. You look really cool.
No, that's stupid.
Yeah. No, backwards. You look cool like that.
No.
In fact, you look a little bit American. Hey, man, you're American, Jake.
Don't listen to him, Jake. Take it off.
I'm not going to. It's going back up there.
I hate wearing hats.
I've got style, okay? I don't.
Rebecca's
I
gone
need the
again.
barber
She's come in and
ASAP.
just said Frankel. Oh my god, she's just come in and just said Frankel and then gone.
Yeah, because I just texted her and said that Frank was on it. She didn't appear just for you coming on, unfortunately.
Yes, she did. You, as soon as you said it, you were like, "Oh no, I can't make that sound good."
She's driving. I was just like, "Oh, Adam has appeared, probably to abuse
fair,
me."
I was driving. That's why it took me so long. I've been watching, but I've been in my car, so listening more than watching.
So
and I would hope you've been listening.
So let's get this straight. So let's get this straight. So you've been illegally watching West Ham unofficial. I like it.
Well, not illegally because we're in Texas. I don't think there are actually rules. I mean, you can go. Remember, we're living in a place where you can go to a car boot sale to buy guns. So
Isn't it an open carry state as well?
Yeah. In fact, Brucey, have you got your gun on you?
911.
Do not say that.
I'd like to report a crime.
Right. So we've got the game out of the way now, and Frankel says, "But Frankel, do you want to stay? Do you want to go? What do you want to do?"
What's the plan? I'll stay for a little while, and then I want to go watch Arsenal get destroyed by our second team, Slavia Prague.
West Ham reserves.
Oh, to be fair, it started 7 minutes ago.
It's
So
nil-nil.
what are you picking?
Well, I'm here with
It's
you, aren't I,
0-0.
Jake?
Well, there you go. Yeah, you are. Right. So I've got some stuff wrote down. We've done the game. Let's get on with some subjects. Right, James, I'm going to come to you first then. If I can get on the right thing. I believe the first thing was João Mario linked back to West Ham. Now, I saw your reply to a tweet somewhere and you weren't happy with it. But thoughts on João Mario coming back to the club?
He's rubbish. He was rubbish when he was with us, and he was rubbish.
No.
He was rubbish, mate. Like, I don't get this. Where are all these young players? Right, let's get. Right, I'm gonna be serious. Right, I'm gonna be real. Right, we was told that we're gonna have young, fresh players, isn't it? The geezer's like coming to the end of his. Like, what is he? 28, 29, and people can say, "Oh yeah, Lingard." Yeah, Man United missed a trick with Lingard. Right, Man United thought he weren't no good, and he's proved them wrong. But João Mario, we've had at the club beforehand, and he was rubbish then, and he's going to be rubbish now. Like
3 words.
There's people.
Champions League experience. That's it. That's the only reason I get him. Is for Europe. He's literally a squad player for Europe.
Some of Joe Linton's got Champions League experience with Heverenveen, but it doesn't mean a thing. You know?
Is he a free transfer?
Some said he is, but his contract doesn't run out till 2022. I read yesterday. A lot of people saying he was, but I saw apparently his contract goes until 2022.
Let's be honest here, right? Let's be honest here. You can go to Arsenal, for instance. You can go and get someone like a Joe Willock, who's a young, got energy, knows the European football. Like, I don't get this sort of like, where are these young players? But that's what I'm going to say is, where are the young players
in our academy, not getting a chance in the first team?
No, what it is, Tom, what it is, and I will get to that. Yeah, none of them want to go out on loan because they think they've reached it. Like Connor Coventry is a good player, yeah, but he don't want to go out on loan because what it is, he thinks he's made it at West Ham now. He's sitting on the bench, but he's never getting a game. Like Odebeki is another one. Like, these players need to go out on loan, and the prime example is for that is Chelsea. Look at Chelsea's academy; they are loaned out everywhere, anywhere, everywhere. Fulham, Doncaster, anywhere you like. Do you know what I mean? So they need to go out. They need to go out on loan.
Used to be there. VV Venelo used to be where they used to send everybody as well.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, and it's just I just don't get the João Mario thing. I just don't understand it. It just seems cheap to me. Again, it just seems like another. If we're thinking like that, it's like, what's going on? Like, we can go and loan 2 players from Arsenal, Joe Willock and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, who are young and fresh. I just don't get it.
I'm just envisioning Leicester away, Balbuena scoring, João Mario scoring. Oh, it's great times. Isn't that the same game that Noble hit that wonder volley as well in the second half? It might have been.
Oh, I
think it was,
so.
Wasn't it? Yeah. No,
it was 3 years ago, Tom.
Listen,
4 years ago, Jay Lings was winning the FA Cup with Man United.
Yeah,
so,
true.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm a closet Inter Milan fan as well, so I was incredibly happy when he came around the first time to West Ham, and that season, like, Inter wanted to keep him as well. That was the thing. When he came back to us, Inter wanted to keep him for a bit. Obviously, they sent him out, I think, to maybe even Russia for a bit, and now he's over back in Portugal. And just the experience, that's all it is. And I know the young players again, but we need to beef out that squad. We need some form of signing. So whether that comes in the form of, a couple of younger players attacking wise, but in the midfield especially, even if it's just getting one or two bodies through the door, I don't think he commands the same amount of wages that he did 2-3 years ago, especially, when he was sort of still properly at Inter Milan and he was playing week in, week out. I remember the first game that he played for Inter Milan, the year after he'd been there with us, I think he got 2 goals and an assist. I remember it vividly because me and my flatmate at the time, who was Italian, and we were talking about Joao Mario, and I think that first game back, he was absolutely incredible, and he was on a massive high at Inter, and then it sort of went downhill. So I think if you can get him for around about 50 to 60k a week wages, maybe with some bonuses in there, and he doesn't play in the Premier League week in, week out, but say we did get Europe, he's there as a player to bring on. I don't necessarily think it's a too bad a deal for us. His resale value isn't there, but squad depth is something we need to really look at. And I thought it was quite telling, like you just said there the other day, instead of when Mark Noble got injured, when he went to the bench, he went to go put Ben Johnson in at centre midfield, which is just wild for me, especially when Coventry was on the bench. And listen, those young players in that team, Coventry and Odebeko especially, some of the finishes I've seen from Odebeko in the 23s from the highlights and stuff this year are absolutely just amazing. Like that Man United game the other day, he had a finish where he sort of bent it in from the edge of the box. Southend earlier in the year, when I've never seen a technique like that in my life. Like clearly he's got it. These guys, they need to be loaned out. And I know they're reluctant to go out. And I always think about Josh Cullen, how good he was when he got loaned out. Just tell those guys, go to a championship club. I think that their level is maybe League One, top of League One, maybe into the championship now. But they can't be too far off of first team action soon. And unfortunately, I think for Odebeko, that Man United game, Moyes is clearly a big truster in his players, and that Man United game probably freaked David Moyes out a little bit, and that's why we've not seen Odebeko since. And it is a real shame because I think 2 of the better players we've seen in our academy for quite some time, really.
Yes, that was a shame because I think that dented his confidence a bit.
Yeah, and
it's bound to, isn't it? I mean, you get, I've done it as a manager, put someone on and took them off, but only because I've had to, But I wouldn't want to do that with a young lad because it's just dented his confidence a bit. It takes him coming back from that, really.
Adam, you're putting not funny jokes in the private chat about Frozen and saying that Tom's not, that Tom's boring as he's not.
Jake, close your ears.
No profanity on this channel, Thomas Atherton.
But Mr. Frankel, thoughts on João Mario?
Honestly, I'm behind David Moyes. What he's building and build like at our club has been great. I don't love the way he manages the games. I'm not a fan of that at all. But I do like
Arsenal
the players
scored,
that he's bringing in. Pardon?
Arsenal scored.
Oh God damn it!
What I've got is I've not got no score up. I've just got the AFTV watch along, and they've just started jumping around. So I've guessed they've scored. So
that sucks. But yeah, I honestly think that I think the key here is David Moyes being allowed to bring in the players that he thinks will add to the squad. Because the biggest problem we've had in the past 10 years is that Sullivan likes playing Football Manager, and he brings in the players that he wants to bring in. And it disrupts the team. Like we just end up with a team of players, some of whom the manager doesn't really want to be there, but yet feels like he has to play. I mean, that's probably the big question mark about Ben Rama. Is that part of the reason that he isn't getting game time? Is it because really that was a Sullivan signing? Don't know. I mean, the jury's out. But I think that if we're going to trust...
It's disgusting the way Ben Rama's being treated.
Well, not really, because I wouldn't say disgusting, but West Ham are 4th in the league, though, James. And so
I'll give you a few stats because I've done it on my channel.
But I've seen the stats, and I know his assists. Yeah. But what I'm saying, James, is that we are 4th in the Premier League, and so
I know, but
it's hard for
anyone else. Right? Let me just say this: yeah, in 23 games, from the games that he started 7. We've won 7. We've drew 4, and we've only lost 1 game from him from the start. And people are criticising this man for what? Why are we criticising him? He hasn't done anything wrong. Do you know what I mean? So
I don't think it's criticism. I'm not criticising the guy, but I'm saying that. Well, I mean, that almost backs up what you're saying, James, because, like you said,
still offside.
Yes.
Yeah, it is.
Oh,
Smith Rowe.
That's exactly what we wanted to happen.
I love VAR.
So do I.
Oh dear.
Yeah,
Right, let's take some comments then.
Trust.
Thank you.
It might be just. We will get back to the Ben Rama debate in a while because there's some various opinions and there's a lot of free Ben Ramas in the chat. But let's take some comments. I'm going to scroll up a bit to take some comments about João Mario. Cahal, Caffel, Charlie, Chazza says I take him because I feel Moyes. Cahill, I would have that. I feel Moyes would have signed him if he had the job. I don't expect him to start just to bulk in the midfield. Ken says if he's free, I'd take him. João Mario is hardly in the Red Bull model.
True.
He scored a banger against
another
the
3-0
win. Forget Mario. Let's go and get Loftus Cheek, says Scott. Cahill said,
I promise you. It is. I've
Cahill.
worked it out. It's Cahill. It is literally just
Cahill.
that. Cahill.
Yeah,
Cahill.
that is his name.
Yeah. Have to.
We're not lying to you. I promise.
Have to agree with Athers. I don't
Rewind.
think. Yeah. Oh, what's happened now?
Arsenal scored again.
Oh, for God's sake.
Just
A
turned it
VAR.
off.
Yeah. Have to agree with Athers. I don't think he's that bad of an option. I would take him for sure. I always liked him when we had him. Scott, yes, they are different players, but I'd love to get Loftus Cheek. Forget Mario, Tammy Abraham. There's some interesting insight video coming up with a Euro expert about Tammy Abraham very, very soon that I filmed this afternoon. Tom says, I think Mario would be a good signing, especially if we only get Europa League, but we have to get the top targets first. I wouldn't want him in place of a top target. He'd be a squad player. I completely agree. What are you drinking out of Avasi? Yeah,
Yes.
it's the legendary vase.
The legendary vase. It's a legendary item. Sorry,
It is.
Mike. This is the first time you've seen this. It's a running gag for quite some time. It is literally a vase, but or what's it called?
But you drink out of it, mate. That's fair.
Yeah, it holds a lot of water. Is what I'll say. It just holds a lot of water.
I think that's the first time I've actually seen water in it. There's usually, it sits behind you in the live streams. There's usually something else in it. Oh God.
I'll do that for you, Jake. I'll do that for you. I'll give you a bit of juice, mate. All right.
Oh yeah. Yeah. The West Brom loan midfield.
Yeah.
He is
okay,
unbelievable.
He is a
Yoxalu,
good
he's
player, yeah.
absolutely fantastic. I'd love for us, and I know that they're probably destined for bigger clubs, but I don't even think it's covered. But if we do lose one of Declan Rice or Souček this summer, I would love to see us go for Basuma. Every time I watch him for Brighton, he's best player on the park for them by a country mile. And I know the likes of Man United and everybody else had looked at him, but if we do lose one of them two this summer, I would definitely be going for either that Yoxalu or Basuma, because I think that shocked me, because I think that's partly down to why West Brom have had the turnaround the last few weeks in their fixtures, because that Yoxalu's been absolutely unbelievable in the centre of the park for them.
Mm. Yeah. They're all jumping around.
Don't worry, Tom. Don't worry, Tom. We're going for Mario instead. You know what I mean?
Get him as well. Bring him in as well.
He's the saviour.
I think we've got to look at them. I think we've got to have a look around at the teams that are going down, and see if we can pick there, because I like the guy at Fulham, the ginger-haired lad in midfield, Harrison Reed.
Harrison Reed, yeah.
He's a tidy little player. So that could make a lot of difference, I think. Whoever goes down, and usually happens, doesn't it?
I think there's, for the first time in quite some time, there's actually quality in all three teams that are going down.
There is.
There is. Yeah.
Sander Berger, I think, at Sheffield is one to look out for. Ender Stevens is actually not too bad. Neither is John Egan, to be fair. With
Jack
Fulham,
O'Connell up there.
yeah, with Fulham, like you said, Harrison Reed. I really like the look of that. Joachim Anderson, who's come in and taken the place as their skipper. Areola is a fantastic keeper, maybe long-term solution for Fabianski. There's so many different players, depending on who actually goes down this year, that I actually wouldn't try to mind getting on cheaper deals, let's say.
There'd be a few
bargains there. Do you not think as well, though? I mean, this is, and once again, it depends where we finish. But if we do finish in the Champions League spaces, I think it would be pretty easy for us to convince the guys that we've got to stay. And at that point, shouldn't we have a little more ambition than to look at the teams going down and the relegation players? Because there are players at Arsenal.
One name for you, Andy Robertson. Went down with Hull City, came back up. Harry Maguire went down with Hull City. Look where he is now. There is diamonds in the rough there that you can unfurl.
Yeah, but I can see Adam's point there, though. We've got to start being a bit more ambitious, isn't it? Like, if we do get Champions League, I don't want us shopping at Poundland. I want us to shop at Harrods if we're going to. Like,
but at the time, right? Andy Robertson came in. Who was Liverpool's left back? Alberto Moreno or somebody else like that? It was like £5 million. He's one of the best left backs in world football. Like there are deals. I'm not saying that anybody would turn into that, and sometimes you will buy a flop. But if you can get a bargain deal and they can turn out to be something, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing to do.
But it's very hard, though, isn't it? It's very hard.
No, of course, because there is that competition from everybody else that want them.
So the second player we will go round is that's done the rounds on Twitter. John McGinn. Mike, I'll start with you. Back up for central midfield, I suppose.
No,
he wouldn't come. He wouldn't come to be back up anyway. I don't think, would he?
No.
To be totally honest, he'd stay at Villa. I would have thought, and I wouldn't go for him. I don't fancy him, to be honest. And I'm David Moyes, so I know what I'm talking about. Now, joking aside, I honestly, I wouldn't go for McGinn. He's
Scottish. You're David Moyes. He's a Scotsman as well. It's just shocking, Mike.
As well,
sorry, not Mike. David. Shocking.
Hello, John. But no, joking aside, no, that's not one for me, mate. I'm afraid.
James.
I like him, mate. I do like him as a player. Like, I think he gets about the pitch. I think he's a decent player. Obviously, I can't see him leaving Villa to become like a backup to Soucek and Rice, but nothing surprised me, mate, really, football nowadays. So if we did get him, I think it's a good signing. I think he's a good player, and he can play. You can change formation. Then you can go a 4-3-3 sort of formation in a sense, because McGinn and Soucek and Rice have got energy in the midfield. But like, he's a good player, and if he was shopping higher on the list, he would be one of the players that you would take, because he's a decent player.
Yeah,
I'd say no, definitely. Just because Villa are going to want minimum 30 million, 25 to 40 million potentially for him. They're not going to sell to a Premier League club unless it's for a massive, massive fee. He is a fantastic player, but he's very injury prone as well. He's been really in and out of that Villa side for the last couple of years. Obviously, he had I know Scott said there in the chat, had a bad injury, but he has been away from the team for quite some time. I think he's a fantastic player, and I think that he is, again, as James said, I think he would help us, but is he going to play second fiddle, potentially midfield, or if he really wanted to change formation start? I don't think so. But I think that's pretty much all of our budget gone on one player. I think we need to be a bit smarter with our business. And that's not to say that he's not good, John McGinn. Yeah. I just think the money's best spent elsewhere, especially if we keep Soucek and Rice.
I think
Joe Mario on a free.
Yeah, I'll leave it out.
3-0 to Arsenal, by the way.
3-0.
3-0 to Arsenal.
The hell?
I think in that midfield to cover Soucek and Rice, I think it's loan signings for me. I don't think there's anyone really, like, you could go and get a Joe Willock or someone like that who could cover that position pretty well, and young. I just don't see anyone come in there permanently and want to sit on the bench, if that makes sense.
Yeah. So let's take some guys. Scott just says here, John McGinn, no. I've got a big Villa mate, and since he's broken his ankle, he's been terrible by all accounts. Jack Grealish may want to leave for a top 4 club, which West Ham are. No, that will never happen. And I'm not Jack Grealish's biggest fan either.
I I wasn't Jesse Lingard's biggest fan, you know.
Neither was
Yeah,
I.
nor was I.
Vinicius Haller was 40 million, not suitable. We won't talk about him. We won't talk about him because things will heat up.
Miss you, King. King Seb.
Oh dear, that's gonna have a few people to switch off right now as he takes a swig out of the squash in the.
Come for me. Come for me. Any other team that Haller would have operated in, he's a 20-goal a season striker. Bring it on. Come for me.
Oh dear. Right. The last couple of subjects then that I've got wrote down. Creswell injured. Our injury list is racking up. I think Bonner, as we discussed earlier, is on his way back. But our injury list, Adam, is racking up now. So we've got Creswell out injured, Rice, Antonio. Is it going to cost us, do you think?
I mean, I just don't. Like I said, that ingrained West Ham fan inside me feels like it's only a matter of time before the wheels fall off and we plunge to eighth in the league, and we're all devastated about it. But then, what I want to say is that, well, they haven't so far. Like, the wheels have kept turning when we've lost Ogbonna, when we've lost Rice, when we've lost Antonio, and compared to those three players, Cresswell is arguably less important. That's why I said arguably, Thomas.
That's not
arguably.
Horseshit. Sorry, Jake. That's ridiculous.
You're saying, whoa.
Whoa.
You're saying
I agree with Adam.
Rice is less important than Cresswell.
I don't think you realise how important he's been to our success this season. Genuinely.
But we can get round him though, Tom. Last 2 games, he's been horrendous, Cresswell. Well, 3 games if you want to go do the Arsenal game.
Jake, I'm off, Jake. Actually, no, I can't. I can't stand up.
The point is that, but like we said, the good thing about it being Cresswell is that we do have more replacements. Instead of us asking the question, who the hell is he going to put up front because we don't have another striker, what we're saying is which of our other options are going to come in and take his place. We're not in a position where we're where we've got no one. We have options. Well, you're shaking your head, but we definitely have options.
No, we have options.
Spent 10 minutes talking about the options.
Yes, true.
Hang on, 2 seconds. Right, I've just muted Adam, so you can have your second.
All right. Okay. No, listen. I respect your opinion. I'm not saying it's wrong. I just think it's harsh on Cresswell. I think genuinely he's been one of the reasons that why we've been so successful this year. I think I wanted his head on the plate the last couple of years. After he had that really unfortunate preseason injury, I never thought he was the same player, and I wanted his head on the plate. I never wanted him to play for us, especially like I want to say first couple of seasons at Olympic Stadium. He was absolutely shocking, and he deserved to be dropped for Masuaku at the time. But since David Moyes has come back in, he has been a key to our success. Some of his set-piece deliveries, what he's offered, especially when he plays as that left centre-half role, I genuinely think he's been one of our best players this year. And I don't think we would have been as successful having a creator defensively like that. He must have, the most assists from a fullback position this year in the Premier League. I think Masuaku, even though he does have sometimes that final product, he's too greedy on the ball. But Crespo's always looking to whip that ball in. You cannot underestimate how good and dangerous he can be from set pieces. He has a wonderful left foot on him. And I just think, I don't think we have that same creativity that we do. And it shows when he doesn't play. In my opinion, we will see this weekend, but I don't think we'll be as creative.
He's not saying that, though, is he? Adam's not really saying that.
He is. Let me disagree with him, James. No.
What he's saying is there's cover there. That's what he's saying. There's a lot of cover in the defensive position. Like, let's be honest, if we go and lose,
calling him out.
If we lose Lingard, I'll tell you what. I'll use the example. If we lose Lingard, then we're in trouble because we've got.
Then we're in trouble.
Yeah, do you know what I mean? So what he's saying is Cresswell. For me, the last couple of games, he's been a bit suspect in my opinion. Like Arsenal, he let Chambers run off him and just followed the ball. Wolves have done the same thing again, and then he gets injured in the Leicester game. He's been good. He's been really good. Like, and I can't not say he hasn't been good, but I can understand what Adam's saying here. Us losing him is not the be all and end all. We've got players there who can cover the position, and if need be, we just go 4-2-3-1 and attack teams now, like if we have to. So I understand
The
what
channel
Emma's saying.
members coming through. Carol's coming through. He's back in the Apples 32. He's back in the Apples
Listen,
32.
he's a stout. He's a member on my channel over on the FIFA stuff. He would not disagree with me. He pays me each month to defend me. This is the kind of support I need.
But like I said though, like exactly what James said. I'm not saying that Cresswell isn't, hasn't been incredibly important. But what I am saying is that, when we lost Declan Rice, we pretty much had one option, Mark Noble. And if Mark Noble gets injured, we literally don't have a good option to put there.
But and I agree, but my argument is, even though we say, yes, we have other options, I don't think they are that same option as what Cresswell brings to the team is what I'm trying to say. I don't think anybody brings that Cresswell style to their play.
Which is
neither
fair.
does Johnson, neither does Fredericks.
But if Ogbonna is better, before Ogbonna got injured, probably 90% of West Ham fans had him number one and Hammer of the Year. All right. So what we're saying is that potentially, if he is back, we're bringing in our in-form defender who was on for the Hammer of the Year before he got injured, and we're replacing Cresswell with him. That isn't a bad option to have. Worth every penny. Oh my gosh. Yeah, worth every penny if you want to watch someone who's not very good at FIFA play FIFA.
Right, that's not for this live stream.
Don't do this. No. You've got to respect the Apples 32 streams. You've got
it's just shocking. It's just shocking, Jake. Oh.
I mean, when he just lets people just pick who he plays. I mean, we had, what was it, Van der Sar up top in one game and Nick Pope up top, and it's just.
I'm gonna cry. I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. That's hurt me. That's hurt me, Adam. I expected better of you. Why aren't you a member, Adam? God.
Yeah, come on.
I don't watch
Jake. Why aren't you
very often?
Oh dear. Right. Mike, I'll hand it over to you in terms of Cresswell. Do you agree with?
Sorry, Mike.
David Moyes. Sorry,
No,
David
to be
Moyes.
honest, Tom, I honestly agree with Tom what he's saying about.
Tom's got another.
Honestly,
got another viewer.
We will miss his delivery, and we won't know how much we're going to miss it until he's not there. You wait and see. His balls out of defence have been, some of them have been absolute quality, and I said that earlier. That's what we're going to miss with him. Bonner is a better defender, yes. If you could mould the two together, you'd have an absolutely outstanding defender. But yeah, and I can also see I know I'm sitting on the fence again, but defensively, we'd probably be tight.
Get off that fence, Morsey. Get off that fence.
I'm allowed to sit on it.
Sore backside.
That's why you won't make bloody substitutions.
That's right.
You're on that fence.
Sitting on that fence. No, honestly, we're going to miss his deliveries coming out of defence. So I know we are, because he's put some quality balls in, and he picks an absolute peach of a cross at times, and he undercuts. Not only, goes on the outside, he comes inside and knocks the ball as well. We're going to miss that. There's no doubt about it. Does anyone know how long he's going to be out for?
3 weeks, I think. 3 weeks. But Adam, as well, you said a naughty word, so that's in the sin bin for 2 minutes.
Shocking, yeah. He told me about profanity and then just says bloody. Yeah, it's shocking.
Oh my! How is that?
Quoted.
I mean, honestly, Jacob, the level of
Mike Dean, Jacob. It's just so predictable. This button is lovely. He's in, he's out, he shakes it all about. Oh, right, Adam, Tom, do you want to say anything to each other? David Moyes, James, any last words?
I love you, Tom.
Yeah, listen. I love Adam. I love it. It's different class. He may host the worst game show on YouTube, but he's
it's gone now.
He's I know. Yeah.
Hammer shots.
Yeah, his workers for 50 cents an hour they've got tired. Their bones have grown old and weary, and they can't support Adam's show anymore. So he's had to end it.
What I see, he said, when he came on here and Charlie Walsh did the unthinkable, Charlie Walsh did it, and that did make my year. But I'm going to get you on hammer shots and do you over. And what's this? Oh no, it's stopped now. No.
Yeah.
Well,
no.
Look,
of course, Lee didn't want you to do it again. What?
Hang on. Whoa. First of all,
Hang on.
if I wanted to do hammer shots again,
you want to do it
you would
again?
be doing it.
Oh,
this is my choice.
That was your choice. Oh.
It's
Rebecca's
my
choice.
second life.
Rebecca's choice.
Rebecca stopped helping me months ago on that.
Yeah,
I replaced her with these. They're less attractive, but they don't talk back.
It's to be fair, it's always the same with me and Frankel. I mean, I've sat very late at night with Adam playing PlayStation when Adam may or may not be,
Leave Frankel alone, as Peach said. Thanks, Peach, my G. I love you.
No, he's brilliant. And listen, as well, that's the first time I've met Mike or Moisey over there. But the thing is, I do love coming on and doing stuff with James because it's always the opinions is what makes it fun because everybody is different. And at the end of the day, I'm not coming off and thinking, God, what an absolute is James. That's what I enjoy.
Stop lying to the people, man.
He's mad now. It's like that's all he wanted. He wanted you to be leaving mad.
It's good, isn't it? I think it's nice for a change because 2 years ago we will be sitting here saying the same thing, which is he's crap. And now we can actually have those debates and say, oh, is this person that? And that's what I love doing is debating and having those different opinions. So as long as it's always in good taste, is what it is. It's great fun. So no, it's been enjoyable. So thank you very much, Jake. I appreciate it.
Thanks, Jacob.
Yeah, thank you for coming on. And Cahill's had some more. Cahill's had some more support to Athos 32. Go subscribe to Athos 32 as well.
And listen to my podcast. West Ham is why we drink.
Oh yeah, West Ham is why we drink podcast. What was the score when I came on there? I've had one appearance on there on the quiz. What was the score on that?
I've forgotten. It was a long time ago.
James's channel as well. Shout out to James's channel.
Hammer's Polls, go and subscribe to Hammer's Polls as well.
All the shout outs. David, Moisey, you got a channel or
no, I got a team to pick, I've got to go away.
See, join the members over on Athos 32.
There you go. There you go.
See, Cahill's like your he's like your like PA, your sales manager.
He's everything, just rolled into one. And he owns a great horse. I tell you what, if you've not seen Cahill's horses, go take a look. Cahill has got a lovely, lovely horse. My lovely horse. Yeah, he's got a great horse.
Happening? I'm so confused.
Listen, Cahill, if you're still in the live chat, quickly send a DM to Jake of your horse and get Jake to show it quickly. Share screen on the live chat.
Hang on, house or horse?
Horse.
All right,
oh,
it's horse. I'll do that. James, thank you very much. I know you got to go. Thank you very much, James.
Yeah, I've got to go and do a preview on the Newcastle channel now, so yeah, I've got to go. I'll catch you boys later, yeah?
Enjoy.
All the best.
Later, mate. Take care.
Right, I'm going to wait for this to come in. Any last thoughts, guys? I want to see some horses, Cahill. I want to see some horses. There's my Twitter handle.
Thank God James is gone. Hey, friggin' hell.
Did you hear that?
I said friggin'.
Did you hear what he just said?
I said friggin'.
Yeah.
I seem to get all the abuse. I say a word that's not even bad, and I get thrown over. I was going to say opinions are like but I don't know what word I'm allowed to use. I'm allowed to say bottoms, or is that going to kick me off as well?
No.
Like, what are you allowed to call your bottom on this channel?
I don't know. Tom, say something.
Mr. Cox is in the live chat. Adam, please have some respect. Have some respect, Adam. Yeah.
Mr. Cox is on here. Is he?
No, the senior Mr. Cox. Okay, have some respect.
My phone vibrated, and I was like, "Oh, is that him calling me now to tell me off?" No, it's not.
No, it's Adam just does this thing where he just shouts louder than the other person to get himself. He has this very whiny, high-pitched cry when he feels offended, and he does it all the time. It's brilliant. if you haven't heard, it just goes louder than you. That's why he's so successful.
I've got it. Right. Let's have a look. Oh, look at the horses. Look at the horses. Right, let me share the screen. Right. This is live, you can tell. Right. Chrome tab, Cahill.
Running through the field. I don't know. Have any of you seen Father Ted, the My Lovely Horse episode?
I don't remember it.
No?
Ooh. That would look good in a lasagna, I'm telling you that.
What, that horse?
Yeah, I love horse lasagna. Haven't you had horse lasagna before?
Tesco's finest.
What are you on about? See, my lovely horse. Right, let's scroll down. What
My
else have we got here?
lovely horse.
What else is there? Here we
Running
go.
through the field.
Is there any more? There is. Look at that.
Oh,
Look.
look at that! Look at it. Look. Cheers! It's a beauty. It's a beauty.
Oh, I can
It's
keep that there.
desert.
That covers up Adam there. Look.
I was just going to say, looks a little like Desi there. Desi in his prime Gold Cup years.
Desi Orchid.
Is that it?
That's
Almost
favourite
looks
horse.
like a
That is it.
unicorn.
My
If you had a
dad
Yeah,
horn,
went,
that's
you should
what I
stick a
thought.
horn.
fun fact: my dad went to Desert Orchid's funeral. I actually have another funny Desert Orchid story with my dad. Years and years ago, when my dad first went to Cheltenham, I'll close on this. When Cheltenham first became a thing, he went there back in like 90 something, right? And he, in the evening, with one of his best mates, sort of like an uncle to me, called Cy or Skimpy, and he went with Skimpy, and he went into. They had a few drinks, and they somehow found their way to the training yard where all the horses were staying. And my dad jumped over the fence, and the trainer, the owner, came out. My dad was feeding polos to Desert Orchid before he was kicked off the thing. I promise you, it's a true story. He was sat feeding polos to Desert Orchid the day before the Gold Cup race. Just a trainer came out, and thankfully he sort of was quite nice with Dad and allowed him to stay because he realised that him and my dad's mate were a bit drunk. But yeah, the reason for Desi's famous Gold Cup wins, my dad was feeding him polos.
Well, there you go. There you go. Oh, it's got cheeky llama as well. Look at this llama as well. Flipping heck. Adam Llama.
I've not
Adam
tried
Llama.
llama yet, but I would be interested in you know.
What,
You want
llama
me to-
lasagna?
No, well, however it's served.
Love
I mean,
the curry.
yeah. However,
Listen, that you've missed a trick there, Cahill, because although Adam Llama is great, I would have opted for Dalai Lama. That's where I would have gone with that one. I'm not going to lie. Dalai Lama. I'm just going to go buy. In a few years, when ad revenue rocks in from YouTube, I'm off to buy myself a llama just to call it Delhi.
Right, I'm going to leave the last words over to Mr. Moyes, David Moyes. See, even your name now says David Moyes. See,
My
you are
dad-
just
boys now, right then.
yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Keep faith in me. I'm going to do this for you, okay? I'm going to do this. This is going to be the best season in West Ham's history, and it's all going to be down to me.
I'll
in
give
my
you-
that.
trust.
I almost want to take my shirt off again, like Spurs. I feel like that. I feel just cheers, David. Cheers.
That's all right, chaps.
Cheers.
And if you look,
Trust you to have the alcohol, Franco.
yeah,
I'm
and
not
if
drinking it. It just lives here.
if we lose, I can't even get into my Captain
We lose.
Morgan's.
Yeah,
If we lose,
I won't
check out AFA's 32 live stream on Sunday night.
explaining what went wrong. Yeah, okay.
Corporation.
Yeah, if it goes wrong, yeah.
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 That went
You
wrong.
know, if the defending doesn't go to plan or if Van der Sar doesn't go to plan up top on Sunday night, you know what's coming up.
That was a really bad decision. Oh, that was a very bad decision. I love whiskey, but that was a very bad decision. Oh no, I don't even think it was whiskey.
That wasn't whiskey. What are you on?
No, I don't know.
Oh
man,
my
inside.
word! One can Jackie Chan over there. He's had one sip of rum and now he doesn't even know what he's drinking.
We'll end on there. Thank you very much to I was going to say Charlie. Imagine having royalty of Charlie Welsh in here
Oh.
tonight, but
He's not good enough to make it on this channel again.
Remove him, Jake. Just remove him. Just get him out. Just stop it. No, seriously, just get him out. There we go. Keep it as.
Oh,
Keep it as.
right. I'm just going to say this: don't respect Charlie Welsh on this channel.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. See, even Cahill wants some whiskey now. Everyone wants whiskey. Yeah. Thank you very much for watching. Subscribe. Thank you to everyone for watching. Hit the like button, all of that. Subscribe to AFA's 32. Check out all of the lovely Huang He Chan emojis and all of the,
Appreciate
all
that.
of-
Thanks, Jake.
all of that over there. Just ask Cahill. He'll give you like a full in-depth report of what happens and what happens over on AFA's 32. Right, that's it. Thank you very much to David Moyes, to Tom, to Adam, to everybody that's come on tonight. I'm going to end the broadcast with David Moyes with his score prediction for Saturday's game from David Moyes' perspective. Are you going to park the bus, Dave?
Yeah, definitely.
We'll end on that. Goodbye.
What you got to remember is when I predict the draw, we always win.